Good night, honey. Time for bed.
Do I have to?
Now do as I said.
Now who's tucking you in?
The wolf?
No.
The bear?
No.
My nanny!
Yay! Now up we go.
Faster, faster! You're a train!
Oh, Daisy Armstrong, now straight to bed and no more nonsense.
Oh, all right.
Good night, sweetheart. Nighty-night.
Who are you? Go away! Nanny!
Come!
No! I won't come! Mommy! Daddy! Ah!
Are you okay?
Good evening. The story you are about to witness is one of romance and tragedy, primal murder, and the urge for revenge. What better way to spend a pleasant evening together? From the beginning, it was an odyssey of trickery and deceit. One moment, I could see the light like the beam of a train passing by. And the next, all was darkness. And the thread which I pulled came away in my fingers, leading to nothing. I believe it was the greatest case of my career, but who am I to say? Modesty forbids it. But it was certainly the most difficult, and it made me question all of the deepest values I have held ever since I was a young man. It all began in the exotic city of Istanbul, where I planned to vacation for several days following a trying case which had been on my nerves. But everything began changing the moment I walked into the dining room of the world-famous Tatlikan Hotel, where the enormity of the prices is rivaled only by the self-esteem of the waiters. My name, incidentally, is Hercule Poirot, and I am a detective.
This way, monsieur. I have a beautiful table that I am sure you will enjoy. Is it monsieur's first time in Istanbul?
That is correct. How did you know?
Oh, I have my ways, monsieur. My little observations. In this business, one needs to be a detective. Like that famous Poirot fellow who comes from France?
I believe he is Belgian.
No, from France. I know him personally.
Oh,
Your table, monsieur.
merci.
Mary, there you are.
James, at last. Where have you been?
I'm not that late, am I?
Of course you are. You're always late. I was terrified that we'd miss the train and it would ruin everything.
I was just exploring a bit. I've never been to Istanbul before, and I quite adore all of this Eastern nonsense.
Well, I don't. I just want to leave right now and get it over with.
I wish to hell you were out of all of this. You deserve better, you know.
Not now. No one should see us like this. Not until it's all behind us. Besides, I think we're being observed by that funny little man over there.
What, him? He's just some damned foreigner. He probably doesn't even speak English.
Shall we order? I'm starving.
Yes, but not here. There's a cute little place just around the corner where I'm sure the food will be 10 times better.
But we can't be late for the train. We can't miss it.
We won't, I promise. Now stop fussing and hurry up. Let's go.
Excuse me, waiter. You did a very nice job, and I want to give you a little something extra because of it. Excuse me, young man, are you American?
Yes, I am.
I thought so. I could tell from your passport right here, and you know us Americans really got to stick together, especially in a place like this. You know, I can't even pronounce half the things on the menu. And what's a falafel? I've been seeing them everywhere on the street, and it looks like you could play hockey with them.
I believe that they're made out of fried chickpeas.
Well, there you go. Who knew? Some people fry anything, I guess. Now, I don't mean to snoop, but I can't help but notice your train ticket sitting there on the table, and I was wondering, do you know if they're providing us a bus to the station?
I don't think so. I believe that the hotel is a private car.
Well, don't you worry. I'll ask and find out. As the Bible says, if Moses don't know the answer, ask the concierge. Now, I think I better go. I have a feeling I'm starting to annoy that, odd little man over there with the silly mustache, and I don't think it's real.
I hope that the food at this humble establishment is up to your usual standards.
Mon Dieu, it's Monsieur Buck.
My friend, haha!
Mon ami, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? This is my city. I live here.
Of course, I'm a fool.
I run Wagon Lee, the greatest train company in the entire world. And the central office is in this hotel. Garçon, this meal is on me. Please charge my office.
No.
Ah, oui, it would give me pleasure. You're my guest here. Now tell me, what are you doing here? You are solving a crime, eh?
No, that was last week in Syria. It was a bad affair. An army officer, a missing Czech, a beautiful woman. It did not end well. The man was guilty, that was for certain, but perhaps because I pressured him too hard to confess his guilt. It was unfortunate in the extreme, and yet I feel as though I have done nothing wrong.
Of course you have done nothing wrong. If you break the law, you must pay the price. That is what you have told me.
It is what I live by.
Now tell me, you are staying here at the hotel?
I was hoping, I was going to play the role of the tourist, but I found an urgent telegram on my desk from the Scotland Yard begging me to return immediately. So I ordered the concierge to purchase me a ticket on your world-famous Orient Express.
Oh, there will be no problem. And the best news is I will be joining you, for I go to Lausanne tonight on business.
Oh, c'est magnifique.
Pardon, messieurs. The concierge had to tell you there are no first-class tickets for the express tonight. It is sold out.
Oh, no.
Attends, it is my train and it is never sold out at this time of year. That is ridiculous.
There must be a party. Or a convention, perhaps.
Well, you tell the concierge to find a berth for Monsieur Poirot. He is my personal friend.
But, monsieur,
The number 7 is always available. It is held in reserve. Now go tell him.
right away, monsieur.
Merci.
It is nothing. A gesture. Now you see this menu? Throw it away. Tonight we shall sit on the train together just like old times and we will dine like kings.
So the food on the train, it is edible?
Monsieur Poirot, you stab me in the heart. I'm riding on the ground at your feet. It is not a mere train that will carry you tonight. It is a legend. It runs like no other vehicle on the earth. The fittings are from Paris, the paneling, Venice, the plates are from Rome, and the taps from New York. The best food, the best beds, the best pillows, the best feathers inside the pillows. It is poetry on wheels, and Lord Byron himself could not write it better. Monsieur, prepare yourself. In 1 hour, I will meet you on the platform of the Orient Express.
Messieurs et mesdames, le Orient Express partir dans 20 minutes du quai numéro 10. Veuillez faire attention à marche, soyez prudents et bon voyage. Ladies and gentlemen, the Orient Express will be departing in 10 minutes from platform 10. Please watch your step and have a safe trip.
Greta, will you please put those suitcases down? You are driving me mad.
No, princess. Do not have concern. They are not so heavy as they look, I'm sure.
Oh, they are extremely heavy.
Princess Dragonmere, how lovely to see you. Please, let me help you with these, madame. Pardon, madame.
It is Mademoiselle. I am not married except to God Almighty who lives in heaven.
Oh, Greta, please not now. This is Greta Olsen.
I am missionary and I work in Africa with little babies.
I have agreed to pay her away if she loses me as I travel to Paris.
But your usual companion,
Miss Schmidt?
She is very sick.
Oh, the doctors are calling it a cardiac event, but she is German, so it's very unlikely to slow her down.
I will pray for Miss Schmidt, and God will protect her.
That is enough. Just get on the train.
You are in compartment 11, Princess, as usual, and Miss Olsen, you'll be sharing a room with Miss Debenham in compartment 4.
I'm Miss Debenham.
Mademoiselle, you'll be sharing a room with Miss Olsen here.
I will do my very best so I am not disturbing you.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
Are you excited?
Hector!
Here, sir. I'm right here.
Is the luggage on board?
Yes, sir. It is. And this morning I checked to see if any mail came in overnight, and... Where is it? This came in, apparently.
Damn it!
I know! It's awful. I mean, just look at this. Prepare to die?
Keep your voice down.
But you should call the police.
It's none of their business.
These are dangerous. This is the third one you've gotten in a week. It's a good thing you have a gun.
Keep your voice down.
Excuse me. Could you direct me to compartment number 7?
Compartment 7, monsieur. I believe there must be some mistake.
Oh, let us hope not. I am due in London by the end of the week. My name is Hercule Poirot.
Hercule Poirot? The detective?
What do you know? Hercule Poirot. I heard of you. You're famous.
Merci, monsieur.
The name's Ratchet. Samuel Ratchet. Import-export. Now, I may have some business with you.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm on vacation.
Oh, you'll change your mind when you hear the price, eh?
Monsieur Ratchet, you are in compartment 2.
I know where I'm going, thank you. We'll discuss it inside.
All aboard! Well, beat me to the gate. You have met Michel? He is from Paris, and he is the best conductor in the company.
Merci, monsieur. But your friend says that he is compartment 7, and I believe it is taken. I'm sorry, but it is taken. In fact, the entire first-class coach is full.
That is incredible.
I know, monsieur. All the world elects to travel tonight.
You will put him in number 1, please. It is my personal compartment. I will find something in one of the other carriages.
No, I will not take your bed, mon ami.
I insist. It is done. Michel, you will make the arrangements.
I am in your debt.
Now tell me, have other passengers checked in with you?
Not yet. We are still waiting for a Miss Hubbard and the Count and Countess Adreny.
Oh, I hear that the Countess is one of the greatest beauties of Europe. She is Hungarian, I believe, a commoner who became a doctor, and when she married the Count, she became royalty.
I see her coming.
Countess Helena Adreny, welcome. I am Monsieur Book of the Wagon Lee.
I'm delighted to see you.
Your reputation precedes you, madame. May I present my friend, Monsieur Hercule Poirot?
The famous detective. That is being wonderful. I have read about you in the papers, monsieur, and I admire you greatly.
Agdeon Berduk.
Ezagigazag.
Nayanor Venduk.
You speak Hungarian beautifully.
Not as well as you speak English.
May I help you with your bag, madame?
No, it is nothing at all.
And your husband, the Count, is coming?
Ella, he cannot join me this trip, but since I'm visiting my mother, it works out quite nicely. He does not like her. Monsieur Poirot, I look forward to hearing of your wonderful adventures.
And I look forward to telling you about them.
Compartment 12, Countess.
I think you are in love, my friend.
I would not discount that possibility.
Is this that Orient Express I keep hearing so much about? It doesn't look all that impressive to me, at least not from where I'm standing.
You are Miss Hubbard?
Miss Helen Caroline Peabody Wolfson Van Pelt Hubbard, if you please, from the beautiful state of Oklahoma. Mr. Peabody, my first husband, was a very good soul, but the poor man lacked a certain talent for longevity. Though I shouldn't say poor, though, because he did very nicely for himself, thank you very much. My second husband, Mr. Wolfsheim, who I loved rather dearly, well, he loved a lot of women. So I traded up and got myself a Van Pelt, but then I caught him in bed with that redhead from the Waldorf that does his nails. But that's when I found my Mr. Hubbard. I call him my little white knight, from saving me from a lifetime of bridge games and watery cocktails at the Oklahoma State Country Club.
And is Monsieur Hubbard joining you?
No, Mr. Hubbard isn't joining me. We traveled together once and he said that I raised his blood pressure. I can't imagine why, so now I do it for the both of us. Do you like to travel
I travel every day, madame.
Well then, you and I should exchange notes sometime.
Compartment 3.
Is that, yours or mine?
Yours, madame.
I hope it's comfy.
I've never had a complaint, madame.
I'm sure you haven't.
She is quite the character.
They are all characters. If I was Balzac, I would write a novel about all of them.
Just think, for 3 days these complete strangers will be sharing the closest of quarters, eating and sleeping under a single roof.
And then, at the end, they part, never to see each other again.
Unless
what?
There is an accident, something fatal occurs.
Monsieur Poirot, why do you say such a thing?
Forgive me, it is my business, and I sense there is something wrong. There is a tension among these passengers of yours. One of them does not fit in, and it is making me frightened.
Oh, monsieur, no more business, please. You must now succumb to nothing but pleasure, and prepare yourself to step aboard the pride of the company wagonly for the most memorable journey of your entire life.
Well, ain't this the bee's knees? I might just have to move in for good.
Right this way, madame. And please, watch your step.
Oh. Holy cow, is it snowing out there?
We get a lot of it this time of year, I'm afraid. Last year, we got stuck in the snow for 7 days.
7 days? Was there liquor on board?
There was always plenty.
Thank God, now I can breathe again. Don't get me wrong, I eat solid foods too, as long as they're cooked in bourbon. Now, as they say in the movies, lead on, Macduff.
Gretel, you must keep up. Keep up! We have to get settled in before the train starts moving.
Oh, I have to confess to you, princess, that I am not liking trains since I am a little girl. They're feeling very tight to me, like clothing that is made wrong size and is squeezing my bosom. Oh, may God forgive me!
Oh, don't be silly. Trains are wonderful.
I am also not liking the strangers and they are clickety-clackety, but we will be sitting next to each other, yeah? That part is good. In Africa, once I am on train and there is noise and crying animals and I look up from my seat and sitting there right next to me is very old goat. Bah! It's true, old goat. He is like my companion, and on this trip that we are taking together right now, I think it will not be so different, yeah?
Mr. Perot, slow up! Now, I'd like to discuss that proposition I mentioned.
No, I'm afraid it is a bad time.
Oh, sure it is. Sit down. I'll be quick, I promise.
I'm afraid.
Sit down.
Bien. Proceed.
Now, I'd like you to take on a job for me.
I take on very few new cases.
You'll take this one and I guarantee it.
Oh, and why is that?
Because I'm talking big money here, Mr. Perot. I have an enemy.
I would assume you have several enemies.
What is that supposed to mean?
You are successful, n'est-ce pas? Successful people have many enemies.
Right, that's it exactly. You see, I've been getting quite a few threatening letters lately, and I've been wanting an extra pair of eyes to do some snooping around. And that's what you do, am I right? Snooping? Now, of course, I can take care of myself, but I'll give you $5,000. How does that sound?
No.
All right, 10 for a few days' work.
I'm not for sale, monsieur. I've been very fortunate in my profession and now only take such cases that interest me. And to be frank, you do not interest me.
You want me to grovel, is that it?
I want nothing, monsieur, except to leave.
Excuse me, sorry.
Hey, you're that countess, aren't you?
That is correct.
From what I heard from everyone else, you started off like a commoner. Just like the rest of us.
That is also correct.
So does that mean you'll share a drink with me?
I am married, monsieur. My husband is off having business elsewhere.
No.
Please excuse me.
Not so fast.
Move out of the way, please.
No need to be all high and mighty about it.
If you do not move this second, I will scream.
Now, wait a minute. You said you're unattached at the moment and we're on a train. So who the hell's gonna know in some private room on some two-piece of...
Stay away from me.
Mr. Ratchet, I've been looking for you. I set your glass of wine next to your bed.
Just shut up, Hector. Just shut up.
Aha, my friends! I hope you are settling in all right and enjoying yourselves. It won't be long now until... Not long at all. The journey begins, and I wish you both good luck and Godspeed.
Hello? Hello?
Oui, madame.
Michelle, could you bring me a bourbon, please, and put it on the rocks? The tap water here is terrible.
Right away, madame.
Oh, and while you're at it, could you give me some nibbles?
Nibbles, madame?
You know, munchies, yummies, things to snack on while I drink my bourbon.
You mean like crisps, madame?
Yeah, like crisps. We call them nibbles out in the Midwest. Have you ever nibbled on anything, Michelle?
I have never had that pleasure, madame.
Well, why don't you bring me those crisps and I'll give you a little lesson. Over and out. You're not doing too bad there, kid. You're looking younger all the time. Come on in here, come on in here, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on in here, come on in here, it's the best band in the land. You can play a bugle call like you've never heard before, so natural that you want to go to war.
Would you keep it down?
Shut up, who asked you?
It's the middle of the night. Gosh.
Sir, what is it?
Would you tell that ridiculous woman in there to keep it down? It's time for bed.
Ridiculous woman, I heard that.
Sir, if the lady wants to sing a little song...
It's 12 o'clock at night.
Now listen, you, why don't you just mind your own business?
Stay out of here. This is my compartment.
If I want to enjoy myself, then I'm going to do it, so just pipe down.
You're insane. You're just... Get out.
Are you a thug? Are you in the mafia? Michelle, I think he's dangerous. Oh my God, there's a gun. Michelle, he's got a gun.
It's not against the law, madame.
Get out this instant.
You're crazy.
I said get out.
Charleston, Charleston, made in Carolina.
Ooh la la, it will be a long night.
She will ruin me. It is all over.
Someone should shoot her and put her out of her misery.
Orient Express to Belgrade Station. Orient Express to Belgrade Station. Emergency code number 867. Alert, code blue. This is important. Hello, Belgrade. Can you lead me?
We read your express. Pray continue.
We've just left Sofia, and the snow is getting heavier by the minute. I'm getting a little concerned as we head into the mountains. Please prepare your rescue equipment in case of stoppage. Belgrade. Belgrade, can you lead me? Belgrade? Belgrade, can you lead me?
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you weren't coming.
What's the matter? I got your note.
I'll tell you what the matter is. I'm frightened because we shouldn't be doing this.
Now, calm down.
I can't calm down. We have to stop this.
Now, that's ridiculous.
No, it isn't. Oh, that's the trouble with you military men. You never show any real emotion. It's always stiff upper lip no matter what's going on.
Mary, we're doing nothing wrong. You have to remember that.
I'm trying. I really am.
Better?
Yes, I think so.
There was a hill near my home in Exeter. I used to sit on it for hours and watch the trains go by in the valley below. I knew they were going to exotic locales, and I wanted to climb aboard them in the worst way.
But you didn't.
No, I suppose I knew I'd break my mother's heart.
You're a very good man.
She was a very good woman.
You know what the worst of it is with all this traveling we've been doing? Is that we never get any privacy. It's just so maddening.
Well, I don't see anyone around at the moment. Do you?
No, I suppose I don't. Oh, James.
Be strong.
I will. I promise.
Hi, I hope I'm not interrupting.
Of course you're interrupting, you moron. Are you blind?
I'm so sorry. I can go maybe grab a snack. Or...
The train! It's stopping!
What is it? What's happening?
The snow! Look! Oh, not now!
We've hit a snowdrift.
Just what we need!
Shall I go take a look?
What good would that do?
James, he's right. Let him go.
Mary,
Go ahead, Mr. McQueen. We'll be waiting for you right here.
I'll be back in a minute.
why'd you send him off like that?
Help! Somebody help! Come quickly, help!
Mrs. Hubert, what is it?
There was a man in my room. He ran off, I'm sure of it.
Which way did he go?
That way, just this second.
But madame, that is where I'm coming from, and I saw no one.
Well, maybe he ducked into one of the compartments or something. I don't know. All I know is I was lying there in my bed, dead to the world, and all of a sudden I opened my eyes and I see this man going through the door and he's wearing a uniform.
But where would he come from?
I don't know. I could barely see him.
And he looked like...
I don't know. One second he was there and then he was gone. He was like a phantom.
But how is this possible?
How should I know?
Perhaps you are dreaming.
Oh, I wasn't dreaming. I know when I'm dreaming because my mouth gets all dry. Does my mouth look dry to you?
And your door was locked.
Of course it was locked, but people have keys, don't they? I'll bet you have keys, don't you, like, own the company?
No, madame. I run the company, and I will look into it.
Well, hurry up about it. I don't feel safe.
She is keeping you busy, Miss Hubert.
You have no idea. She insisted there was a man inside her compartment.
Monsieur, perhaps?
Impossible. He's helping my engineer at the moment.
Attends. We are not moving.
You are telling me?
It's not drift?
We are stuck until men are sent from Belgrade to dig us out.
Oh, no.
I am sorry, my friend, but I promise you will be completely comfortable for as long as it takes.
Book! Have you tracked him down yet?
Not yet, madame.
Well, keep trying.
Good night, my friend. I hope you get a good sleep tonight because that will make one of us.
And hurry up about it.
I wonder.
Gretel, it is I. Slow down.
Oh, good morning, princess. Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My fault. Mr. Ratchet? Sir? Could you open the door, please? Hello?
Is something wrong?
He isn't answering, and the door is locked.
Monsieur Ratchet, are you all right?
The passkey, perhaps?
Of course.
I hope he is not being ill.
Oh, shh.
There's a chain.
Hello?
You're going to have to force the door.
It will break and need repairing.
Do you feel the air coming from the room? It is freezing. Quickly.
I do not like this at all.
Mr. Ratchet!
I cannot look.
Do you see his chest? Look, this is horrible!
I cannot believe it.
Do not touch anything. Not a speck.
It is human life. It is wrong.
Greta, calm down.
Princess, will you take Miss Olsen to her room, please?
Come along, Greta. Come.
Holy cow!
There has never been such a thing in the history of my company. What are you doing?
I'm inspecting the wounds. I count 8 stab wounds to the chest. McQueen, when did you see him last?
Me? I don't know anything. He was fine last night when I sat out his wine.
You were his secretary. What did you know about him?
Not very much. He never spoke about himself much at all. Frankly, I think he was hiding something. That's just an impression.
Oh, and why is that, you think?
He was fleeing from America to get away from something, and I think he managed it up until a few weeks ago.
And then?
He began to get some threatening letters. I have them in my room. Would you like to see them?
Yes, quickly. And ask the Countess to come join me.
Right away.
It is impossible for such a thing to happen on my train. It's freezing in here.
So you have observed the window.
Oui, it is open.
And what do you see outside?
Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. No footprints, no marks in the snow, meaning no one entered or exited through the window.
Then why is it open?
I would assume to mislead the police when they arrive.
The police?
Of course the police. This is a murder.
The Yugoslavian police department. Oh, no. We do not want them. You must solve the murders and you tell them who did it.
No, I've interfered too much already.
But my company is at stake.
But mon ami.
Just think what the Yugoslavian police inquiry would do to my company. People would say, oh no, I cannot travel on the Orient Express. I could be murdered in my bed, and our sales would suffer and I would lose my clients.
But I am doing London in 3 days.
Then solve it in 2. You're a magician. I have seen you work. You listen, you look, you pester. You make yourself a pain in the backside. Then suddenly, poof, the case is solved like that.
The police would be angry.
The Yugoslavian police department, they're like the Three Stooges in the movie house. They poke each other in the eyes by accident. They would be thrilled not to have to do any work. If you save them the job, they would put up a statue of you in the center of Zagreb.
I will need a plan of the coach.
Done.
And the tickets and passports of everyone on board.
Done.
Excuse me, but you have asked to see me? Oh, dear God.
Forgive me, Countess, but I understand you are trained as a physician, and I was wondering if you could help me with the body.
I'm happy to help.
I'm afraid it is not a very pleasant sight.
I have seen worse, believe me. I volunteered in the ward.
Regarde. The left side of his face, it is red. Do you see?
I do. It has been slapped.
How do you know?
Because I slapped it. I count 8 separate wounds.
That was my count as well. Can you estimate the time of death?
I would say it is between 8 and 10 hours ago, which puts the time between midnight and 2 o'clock.
I'm in a count.
It appears that the killer was wild and a frenzy of some sort.
Oh, regarde. Of the 8 stab wounds, 5 are deep and 3 are mere scratches. Oh, and all of the wounds are from a different direction. Do you see? I need a pencil. Bon. And let us place the pencil in all of the wounds and push gently like so.
Is this necessary?
Perhaps the man changed hands during the stabbing?
Or there were 2 assailants, one right-handed and one left-handed.
One strong, one weak.
It is not impossible, but now another question presents itself. Why did Monsieur Ratchet not fight back when all the while there was a gun beneath his pillow?
Oh la la!
Alors, may I see it?
How did you find it?
He showed it to me yesterday, so I knew it was in here somewhere.
It is an automatic. I believe it is loaded. Wait. There's a safety switch. It is not on.
S'il vous plaît, mon ami, are you not aware of the possibility of a fatal accident? Un moment. I have a very good nose. Smell this glass of wine.
It smells of almonds. He was clearly drugged, which is why he did not fight back.
What is this in his pocket? Voila!
It is a what? It's a face watch and the face is smashed.
It is stopped at 1:15.
At last it is the time of death! The count is set between midnight and 2. So there it is, it could not be clearer. 1:15 is the time of death, it is obvious.
It is possible.
What do you mean it is possible? What is wrong with it?
I do not know what is wrong and what is right because I am still investigating. Here is a pipe cleaner, there is a match, there is a match of another shape. There are dozens of clues in this room and it is making me suspicious.
Look, it's this on the floor.
It is a lady's handkerchief with the letter H on it.
Yet another clue. But who is H? As in Hamlet?
That is the question. There is a Mrs. Hubbard on board, and I believe her first name is Helen?
And the princess?
Her name is Natalia Dragomirov, and there is Mary Debenham, and Greta Olsen, and James Arbuthnot, and Hector McQueen, and I'm Constantine Book, and such a thing like this has never happened in the history of Wagonly, and it will ruin my company, and I want you to solve it immediately.
You are upset.
I am very upset! A man has been murdered on my train!
It will be all right.
I hope so. I will smoke a cigarette.
It is a good idea.
And oh my God, just look at this ashtray. My people are lying down on the job.
No, stop! A piece of paper has been burned, perhaps to hide its contents. There appears to be something written on it. What I could use right now is a lady's hat box. Countess, do you keep such a thing?
Of course I do.
I admire that woman very much. She did not ask a single question. I asked for a hat box, she gets me a hat box. I asked for help with a body, and she rolls up her sleeves. Suddenly, I wish I was young again. Wait here. I'm getting a spirit lamp. I use it to heat the wax for my mustache.
And why do you need a spirit lamp?
Because this time I'm going to use science to get the guilty party. Usually for me it is psychology, the mind of the killer, but not with these clues.
Why not?
Because I do not trust them. The handkerchief. Did a woman drop it, or did a man place it here thinking, oh, I will make this look like the crime of a woman? Same with the pipe cleaner, eh? I will make this look like the crime of a man. Same with their watch, their gun, their window, their match. There are too many clues, and it is making me unhappy.
Your hat box, monsieur?
Merci, madame.
Je vous en prie.
If I were to ask you to leave your husband and come away with me to Monte Carlo, what would you say?
I would say, give me 5 minutes. I need to pack.
I will get back to you. In the meantime, hold this. Okay. Now, I believe the piece of paper is the remains of a note, possibly a threat, which has been burned to hide the information it contained. Now, come close, for I believe a few letters will reveal themselves. Only briefly, while the flame is striking them, so they must be regarded what they can. Now let us place the paper near the flame, like so. Ah, did you see it?
Remember little Daisy Armstrong?
But what does it mean?
There was a case in America 3 years ago.
Well,
a little girl was murdered. It was in all the papers.
I do not remember.
it was a case most horrible.
Horrible.
A little girl named Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped from her home in Long Island, New York. The ransom was raised to $200,000, and it was paid.
But Daisy was never returned to her parents.
They found the little girl a few days later, dead, murdered in the woods not far from her home. They found the man who did it too, but he had ties to organized crime, so they got him off by changing the evidence. Had he been caught by the public, he would have been hanged, but he simply gave them the slip and disappeared.
But what does this have to do with Ratchet?
I think we can guess, no?
Of course!
Monsieur McQueen says that Ratchet was fleeing from something in America, and that he had succeeded until the letters began arriving.
Then you think...
But Monsieur Ratchet's real name was Bruno Cassetti, the man who murdered little Daisy Armstrong.
Good God.
Excuse me, Mr. Perot? I found the letters.
Merci, monsieur. And so it begins. Book, get me the passports of everyone on board. Then I will want to see the princess and Miss Olsen together. Then I will want to see Monsieur McQueen and then Miss Hubert. Vite, vite, hurry before the trail is called. It is clear to me somebody on board has committed this murder, and I will find out who it is, I assure you.
Monsieur Poirot, we are here out of a sense of duty, that is all. I do not like having my day disturbed.
Then let us begin immediately. Now, princess, it says that you are Russian on your passport.
Oh, that is correct. I have been in exile since the Bolshevik dogs took over.
And it says that your name is...
Natalia.
And is this your handkerchief?
Oh, of course not. It has the letter H on it. My initials are ND, Natalia Dragomirov.
What about you, mademoiselle? Is it yours?
No. I could not afford such beautiful thing as this. It would be a sin.
And what was the two of you doing last night between the hours of 12 and 2 o'clock?
Oh, I could not sleep. So at midnight, the Countess Adreni and I read a book together in my room, out loud. Oh, it is the very best way to get sleep when you're anxious.
Oh, and why were you anxious?
The Bolsheviks.
And what book did you read?
The Tale of Two Cities. It is very comforting.
And you, Miss Olsen, where were you?
I was in my room with Miss Debenham, who was very nice. We talked from 12 o'clock until 2 o'clock, and then we slept. You can ask her.
And have either of you ever been to America?
Oh, yes, many times.
I have not been to America, but I must go someday to raise money for my babies in Africa.
You are very religious.
Yeah, since I was little girl and Jesus came to visit me in my garden, he spoke with me and told me I must work hard to help little babies in Africa.
And I'm sure you have done a beautiful job of it. I just have one more question for the either of you. Are you aware of the identity of the man who died last night?
His name was Ratchet, and I pray for his soul.
Ah, no, my dear, his name is Bruno Cassetti. Oh, she consoled me. And what I pray is that his soul is damned and he burns in hell for all eternity.
Princess.
He murdered a girl named Daisy Armstrong. Her grandmother is my dearest friend. You may know her as the actress Linda Arden.
She was very great.
Not was, monsieur. She is very great. She is very much alive and remains one of the greatest actresses of the American stage. And when her 5-year-old granddaughter was murdered by this monster Cassetti, it took her years to recover. Indeed, she has not yet recovered.
And there were 4 who died.
No, 5, monsieur. 5 people died. Little Daisy and her mother, who was pregnant. She died at childbirth, and the baby died too. And the little girl's father, Colonel Armstrong, could not live with what happened and ended his life. And the housemaid as well. 5 human souls were extinguished. So please forgive me, Greta, if I take the view that there is no forgiveness in a case such as this, and that Mistress says that she should have been flogged to death, and his remains cut up and thrown into the rubbish heap. Oh, Greta, please! Greta! Oh.
I'm so sorry.
McQueen, please sit down.
Of course. Will they be all right?
They will be all right, I assure you. Now, McQueen, what were your duties as secretary to your employer?
Well, I wrote his letters and ran his errands and things.
And you knew him only as Samuel Ratchet.
Well, how else would I know him?
His real name was Bruno Cassetti.
Holy God. Are you sure of that?
Then you know about the Armstrong case?
You bet I do. My father was the district attorney of the state of New York at the time, and he brought that case against that son of a bitch. I'm sorry, but you have no idea what he did to that family. They were all so kind to me.
And can you tell us who all was in the Armstrong household?
Mrs. Armstrong had a sister. She went to graduate school, but after the tragedy, she moved to Europe, and I think she got married. Her name was Helena. And Mrs. Armstrong's mother would also come to visit. She was an actress.
Anyone else?
There was a governess and a baby nurse. And then poor Suzanne. She was a French housemaid from Paris, and my father's office thought that she might be implicated. She was so distraught from the accusations that she
killed herself.
Only it turned out she was innocent. My father was shattered. He never recovered.
Can you tell us where you were last night between the hours of 12 and 2 o'clock?
12 and 2. I was on the observation deck with Colonel Arbuthnot.
And did you see anyone you did not recognize?
Well, I saw Michelle, the conductor, and the other conductor, and Colonel Arbuthnot, and Miss Debenham.
The other conductor?
There is a second conductor?
I guess so. I saw him.
And he was in uniform?
Yeah, the same one that Michelle wears.
What did he look like?
Well, I couldn't really tell. He had his hat pulled down, but he was sort of small-boned. Do you know what I mean? Sort of feminine.
And did you speak with him?
I said hello, and he just kept going.
You have been very helpful. You may go. Oh, and ask Michelle to come see me.
Of course.
I knew we would get a breakthrough. Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth. I should have listened. The murderer wore a uniform, and the question now is, where did he go?
No, the question now is, was there such a man exist? He could be an invention of Monsieur McQueen.
But why would he lie? He is not the murderer.
Why not?
Because he is not the type. It is a crime of passion by someone Italian or Hungarian, a man with blood in his veins.
I have finished inspecting all of the passports, and there is one which troubles me. There is a grease stain that obscures on the signature portion. It obscures the first letter of the Christian name, and I believe it is telling.
Who is it?
Knock, knock. Excuse me, but I need to talk to you.
If you could please wait your turn, madame.
No, I cannot wait my turn, because you owe me an apology.
I do.
Yes, you thought I was crazy.
Pardon, madame. I do not know to what you are referring.
To what I am referring is the man in my room last night. You didn't believe me, but guess what? There was a man in my room last night, and I can prove it. He left the button. Look.
It says Orient Express.
It sure as heck does, and it is just like the ones that Michel wears on his uniform.
And you found this.
Sure did. Bright and early this morning, right next to my big toe after I put these tootsies on the floor when I woke up.
And you waited until now to tell us.
I just woke up. It is called a vacation, and I heard about Ratchet's murder, and I thought, well, maybe the button guy did it. You see, it all adds up. He goes into Ratchet's room, kills him, comes out through my room, and I wake up about like 1:15 and see him there. Well, I don't really see him. I just sort of feel his presence. And do you realize that he could have strangled me in my bed or shot me or something?
The man's name was not Samuel Ratchet, madame. It was Bruno Cassetti. Does this mean anything to you?
No.
Have you ever heard of the Armstrong case?
You mean that poor little kid that got murdered? It was national news. Everybody heard about it.
And,
so what?
Can you tell me where you were last night between the hours of 12 and 2 o'clock?
Oh, great. So now I'm a suspect. You know, maybe you should read up on some detective stories, get a couple of tips.
12 to 2, madame.
I already told you I was in my room asleep around 1 o'clock when some man came into my room and scared the living bejesus out of me.
Can you write your signature?
I beg your pardon?
Your signature, so I can see your handwriting?
I always thought the French were screwy.
He is from Belgium.
Exactly.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm looking for Miss Debenham.
She is not here.
Did you try her room?
Yes, I did. I tried everywhere I could think of, and she's gone.
Have you tried the carriages at the back of the train?
Of course I did. I got Michelle to open the doors for me. She's not in any of them.
Well, she cannot be far, monsieur. It is a very small train.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying, monsieur. There was a murderer on this train last night, and that has certain implications, wouldn't you say? Oh my God, it's her!
What happened? Quickly, this way!
Where is she?
I couldn't tell!
What is going on?
Mary!
Miss Debenham?
She's not in here!
Try Ratchet's room.
Mary!
Mrs. Debenham?
God almighty!
Michelle, Countess, search the train. Wait, Countess.
Of course. She's still alive.
Oh, thank God.
Mary!
What happened?
He was shot, for God's sake.
I need my medical bag.
I'll go get it.
Quickly, compartment 12.
Michelle, search the train.
Oui, monsieur.
I'll go with him.
Me too.
Wait, do you have a gun?
There is one for emergencies in the portal box.
Take it with you. This is not a game.
Yes, sir.
Come quickly.
Can you sit upright?
I think so. Oh, there is a great deal of blood. I do not like blood.
Nobody likes blood.
Thank you. Is it only your arm?
Yes.
You have not been hurt elsewhere.
No.
Do not be alarmed. I'm merely going to cut the sleeve of your blouse so I can get the better look.
Oh, I cannot watch.
Oh, this may hurt a bit. It is, how do you say it in English? Jod?
Iodine.
Iodine.
Be careful, will you?
I'm all right, Colonel.
You're remarkably fortunate, Miss Debenham. A few inches to the left and it would have been fatal.
Thank God for small blessings.
Countess, may I ask Miss Debenham a question?
Are you well enough?
I think so.
It's very simple, mademoiselle. Who shot you?
I don't know. I only caught a glimpse of him. He was...
What?
Tell us. It makes no sense. He was in a sort of uniform, but I may have imagined it.
Can you tell us what happened?
I'll try. I woke up this morning feeling disoriented, as though I'd been drugged or something, and I had this splitting headache. So I looked in my suitcase for some aspirin, but I didn't have any. So I stumbled out of my room and I saw that Mrs. Hubbard's door was ajar. I called to her, but she wasn't in there. And I know I shouldn't have. But I went into your room. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
Go on.
My head was splitting open by this time and I wasn't thinking straight.
So I looked for some aspirin in Mrs. Hubbard's makeup bag, and there was this knife, and it was covered in blood.
A knife?
In my bag?
Yes.
Where is it?
I left it where it was. I felt so frightened.
Holy cow, I'll go get it.
No, stop. You will not go get it. I will retrieve it when I am ready. Now, in the meantime, Miss Debenham, continue.
Let me just say that this does prove that there was a man in my room, just like I have been
Miss
saying.
Hubert.
Sorry.
You thought too much.
I beg your pardon?
Miss Debenham.
Oh, well, I was frightened when I saw the knife, that I must have stumbled into Mr. Ratchet's room, and that's when I saw the body on the bed with all the blood and the wounds, and I screamed, and then I saw the man with the gun, and that's all I remember.
It is all right.
Are you certain it was a man?
I think so. I assumed it was. I suppose I'm not positive.
He must have been hiding in this room, behind the door, waiting to escape.
So that means if I'd come in here first, then whammo, no more show tunes in the shower.
Oh, and that would be a terrible loss.
Miss Hubert, can you tell me where you keep your makeup bag?
Of course, it's right behind the door sitting on the bed. You know, if these compartments were any bigger, I wouldn't have to set my makeup bag on a bed like some drama school kid in a Rudolph Frimmel operetta living out of a hold all and holy God.
Oh, I cannot look!
I've never seen one like that before.
No, stop! I'm going to inspect it for prints. In the meantime, you may all go and touch nothing as you leave. When I'm finished, I will be in the dining car, and I will want to see Miss Debenham.
Now see here!
If she is able, then I will want to see Miss Hubert and the princess and Miss Olsen again.
Me?
Countess, will you escort Miss Debenham to her room?
Of course. You are strong enough?
I'm much better, thank you.
Now, I don't see the reason to stress Miss Debenham any further, and I suggest you don't.
I will bear that in mind.
Monsieur Poirot, I hope you solve all this rather quickly. I am not afraid of dying, but I would rather not... Excuse me. I would rather not speed up the process.
I intend to sue this company on the accounts of sheer anxiety.
Yeah. Bien, madame. You're not the only one who is anxious at the moment.
Zagleb, come in. We have an emergency. We cannot reach Belgrade, and we are 20 miles from the nearest town. We need assistance. Zagleb, come in.
No one. There is no one, I tell you. Not a single person is on this train who should not be here.
Are you positive?
Entirely. It has gone too far. Our lives are in danger.
It is like a magic trick.
It is unbelievable. I told Michel to go on searching and he may find something.
I do not expect so.
Then where did he go, this man who is dressed like a train conductor?
I have no ideas. It is a problem. Every time I find a piece of the puzzle, one of the suspects has an alibi. Connor Arbuthnot. He could have had a grudge against Cassady from a business deal. But McQueen has an alibi for him from 12 to 2. They were out talking on the observation deck. And Miss Olsen, she's strange. There is something not right about her, but she swears she was up all night chattering with Miss Debenham in the room with the sheriff. And the same for Miss Hubert and the princess. And now Miss Debenham has been shot and I am out of suspects.
I have brought Miss Debenham as you requested. Now, what is it you want with her?
I merely wish to ask a few questions. You may go.
I beg your pardon.
You are not needed for this.
I'm sorry to hear it because I'm staying.
And I am sorry also because you are not.
Now, see here, you little Frenchman.
He is Belgian.
I don't care if he's the man in the moon. I'm not leaving her.
It's all right, James. Honestly, I'm sure it won't take long.
She is correct. A mere 10 minutes.
Well, I don't like that. And you can put that in your meerschaum pipe and smoke it.
That is Sherlock Holmes.
Go to hell.
Miss Debenham, please sit. There is much pain.
It's rather sore, that's all.
You are very brave. Let us be thankful it is not worse.
Thanks a lot.
Now, Miss Debenham, back at the hotel in Istanbul, you spoke with the colonel. You told him you were terrified of missing your train. Can you tell me why it meant so much to you?
It wasn't that at all. I didn't want to be late.
But then you said to him you wished you could get it all over with. Get it all behind you. Get what behind you? You seemed quite agitated.
I'm afraid you're reading into it. I'm tremendously punctual, that is all.
Forgive me. It is my profession, and sometimes I am too imaginative. But you and the colonel are quite close, are you not?
We only met a few days ago, but I suppose we rather hit it off.
And as for the matter, I assume you know the identity of the man with the Bruno Cassetti.
I'd heard.
And what do you know of the kidnapping?
Not much, I'm afraid. I've never been to the States.
And what is it which brings you to Istanbul?
I lived with a family for about a year. I'm a governess.
And what were you doing last night between the hours of 12 and 2 o'clock?
I was in my room with Miss Olsen. We chatted until quite late. You see, she talks quite a bit, especially when she's anxious, and I may have dozed off for a few minutes.
I see.
May I go?
Yes, you may go. Oh, wait, there is one last thing. Can you sign your name, please?
All right. It's okay. It's a good thing I'm left-handed. I'd have trouble signing with my right at the moment.
Merci.
Please get some rest. And on behalf of the company, I will have some champagne sent straight to your room.
Thank you so much.
And if there is anything else I can do to help you, please let me know. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh my God, can you imagine if she had died? Thank goodness she is such a lovely young woman.
She is more than lovely. She is a complete liar.
Miss Debenham?
She says she is not acquainted with the colonel, yet they are clearly intimate. To him, she says she wishes she could get it all behind her, and now she says those words mean nothing.
But she was shot.
In the arm.
He could have killed her.
I wonder.
About what? Ooh la la, you do not suspect her of Cassetti's murder.
It is not impossible.
But it is impossible. She is cool, she is methodical. She would not stab a man to death, she would sue him in court.
No. No, you are wrong if you think this is a crime of sudden and passionate. This is a long-headed crime, mon ami. I would stake my career on it. Look at this.
It's the sleeve of her blouse, so what?
There is a powder burn near the entry point.
Which means?
The gun was very close to the sleeve when it went off.
So what? The man was 2 feet away.
Pardon, messieurs. I have finished the search.
And?
Nothing. There is no sign of an intruder anywhere. If you like, I can show you.
No, c'est tout. Would you be so kind as to remove your coat, please? All of the buttons are the same. And what's more, all of the threads for the buttons are old, meaning nothing has been sewn on recently.
That is correct, but may I ask?
Monsieur Bert found this button in her room this morning.
It is not mine, monsieur.
So I see, yet it matches yours exactly.
It does.
Michel, what is your attendance currently on Bert?
There is one in the second-class carriage, a ticket taker I have known for years.
And is he large or small?
Quite large, I'm afraid. Shall I ask him to come see you?
No, it is quite all right. What other passengers, aside from the ones in the coach, are currently on Bert?
There is a mother and her child in the Belgrade carriage, and that is all.
And is it possible there is a second conductor wearing a uniform like yours?
Oh, no, monsieur. There is no such thing. I had to earn this uniform with my many years of service. However...
Oui?
Well, frankly, I cannot say I trust her word, but Miss Olsen says last night she saw what she calls a second conductor on the train.
Miss Olsen?
Oui, she told me this morning.
She did not tell us this morning.
She said he was wearing a uniform just like mine, and when she spoke to him, he did not seem to respond. In fact...
What is it? Tell me quickly.
Well, the princess says she also saw this man last night.
Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la.
What is it?
This is the clue I've been waiting for. Michel, come with me, I will need your help. Monsieur Bouc, wait right where you are, I will be right back.
But where are you going?
We'll see in a moment. Pardon, madame. I will be right back.
I thought you wanted to question me.
I do, just stay where you are.
Well, that was exciting. As if we need any more excitement around here. Now listen, I want my passport back. What if there was another shooting we had to make a run for it? Can you imagine me wandering through the streets of Yugoslavia without a passport? They'd shoot me on sight and ask questions later. Who are you? Oh, well, I'm Miss Helen Hubbard from the Oklahoma State Golf and Racquet Club, and bam! No more mahjong.
You have been extremely patient, madame. And believe me, I am grateful. If there is anything I can do to thank you, I am at your service.
You know, you remind me of one of my husbands.
Which one?
The next one.
No, please put it back. That is my suitcase. You may not take it.
I'm sure he has a reason.
I have an excellent reason.
Oh, please stop.
Monsieur Poirot, really?
Miss Olsen, you must permit me to look in your luggage.
But they are my private things. It has my undergarments.
Monsieur Poirot.
Miss Olsen, I will look at nothing which will embarrass you. You have my promise. I have an idea. Princess, will you come assist me? Now, Miss Olsen, Michelle tells me that last night you saw a second conductor on board the train.
Yeah.
And what did he look like?
He was small like woman.
Oh, that is correct. I saw him as well.
Ah, bon. It seems that virtually everybody on board this train has seen a second conductor except for me and Monsieur Book, which leaves the natural question, where did he go? Is he still on board? If he had remained in uniform, we could have spotted him easily. Which means one possible solution is that he is hidden in his uniform in one of his luggages of one of the passengers.
Oh, but why choose me? There are the suitcases. Try the other ones first.
Princess, will you open the lid and tell us what you see inside?
Ugh. Ugh. Oh my goodness.
It is the uniform.
I have never seen it. I have heard no one ever. I would not do such a thing. I am not a murderer.
No, Miss Olsen, I am not accusing you of anything. You have done nothing
I
wrong.
did nothing wrong.
Monsieur Book, does the coat have all of his buttons in place?
No, there is one missing.
Well, there you go. Are we surprised at this?
Wait, there is something more. Ooh la la, mon Dieu. It is a passkey for the doors on the train.
And that would explain how the man got into my room last night.
No, Miss Olsen. Just tell us when the last time you looked in your luggage was.
It was yesterday, just after we boarded.
Then we could have hidden it this morning after you left your room.
I have no idea. I have never seen it before.
Monsieur Poirot, I must insist that you stop bullying poor Miss Olsen in this manner. She is simply not put up to it like the rest of us.
You are right. I apologize. Princess, will you take Miss Olsen to her room and bring Miss Hubert with you? I must speak alone with the Countess for a moment, if you do not mind.
Of course we mind. Every time things get juicy, you go and throw us out again.
Will you please stop gossip mongering?
Me? You have your mouth open so much I can count your teeth.
Oh, what a pleasure to learn you can count, bird brain.
Bird brain? If I'm a bird brain, then you're a communist.
I am not a communist. I am in exile.
From your husband, I'll bet, who couldn't wait to get rid of all of you.
Oh, and who's the one with all the divorces?
My husbands were unfaithful.
As is the prices, yo! I'm going to
Ladies, we are all a little worked up at the moment. Please, this way.
Thank you.
You seem troubled.
I am getting more and more concerned.
That another crime will occur?
No, that I will solve this one. Countess, what is your maiden name?
Goldenberg, as you see in the passport.
But you go by Andrei.
My husband's name.
Oh, of course, the Countess Andrei. And your first name is Elena, no?
That is correct. I am a suspect.
I merely ask questions. It is my job.
I thought we were friends.
It is my greatest wish, but please, indulge me. Countess, this morning when I finished inspecting your passport, I found a grease stain on the signature portion. The stain occurs before the first letter and could obscure another letter, such as H. And if we add H to your name, it becomes Elena, the same name used by Shakespeare in his play A Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is true.
It is the kind of name an actress would give to her daughter.
I suppose.
An actress like Linda Arden, the grandmother of Daisy Armstrong.
If you say so.
But Linda Arden itself is but a stage name. Arden was Shakespeare's mother's name, and the name of the forest in his famous play entitled...
As you like it.
You know your Shakespeare well for a Hungarian.
I've studied Shakespeare since I was a child.
I know. I believe your mother, Linda Arden, taught it to you. And that would make you the aunt of Daisy Armstrong. The aunt who graduated school, got a medical degree, moved to Europe, and got married.
I do not know this woman, but I would imagine that she suffers from the loss of her niece and her sister.
There is no use in denying it, madame. When the train gets going again and we reach our destination, a simple telegram will be all it takes to get me a photo of Daisy Armstrong's aunt, and it will all be over.
But I didn't kill him! I should have, but I didn't. I didn't even know who he was until you discovered it, but when you did, I figured that if you knew I was Daisy's aunt, you would think that I killed him because he was a blackmailer and a swine and the murderer of a darling, sweet, innocent child that deserved to live.
Madame, really?
It's the truth. I swear to God. But I'll tell you this. If I had known who he was, that Bruno Cassetti, the man who stole 2 of the people I love most in this world, I would have pushed the dagger through his chest myself, and believe me, no other wounds would have been necessary.
Hello, hello, can you hear me? I am calling Zagreb station. Can you hear me, Zagreb? This is Konstantin Buk of the Orient Express.
We are hearing you, Monsieur Buk. You are loud and clear.
We remain in the snowdrift in the Polinsky Pass. Where are you?
We have been delayed, monsieur, but should be there presently. How are conditions?
We are losing heat and light, provisions are low, the passengers are angry, and we have a dead man rotting in the baggage compartment. How are things with you?
Well, I'd like to know what the hell's going on.
He wrote me a note and said to meet him here.
He wrote me the same thing.
I find this ridiculous.
So where is that little Frenchman hiding? Is he being all ridiculous again?
He sent me a note to join him here.
I received one also.
I know he's up to something, the little weasel.
I just don't understand. No one here is a murderer.
No.
I don't
Pardon, pardon. I have kept you all waiting, and for that I apologize. I had to, how do you say, get all of my ducks in a row.
Ducks, what ducks?
It's an expression that I can't drive me crazy.
Oh.
Everyone please sit down. I have an important announcement to make. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gathered you all here to reveal to you the killer of Monsieur Samuel Ratchet, also known as Bruno Cassetti. I believe I do, but first I must interrogate the last among you who has not answered a single one of my questions. Colonel Arbuthnot.
Me?
James.
Do you have a problem answering any of my questions?
No, of course not.
Excellent. Colonel, in your time of service to your country, did you ever meet a man named Charles Armstrong?
No, I did not.
Have you ever heard of him?
Yes, we served in the same theater of action, but we never met.
Have you ever heard of the Armstrong case?
Yes, I have. It was where a brute murdered a little girl for some money.
And did you know that Colonel Armstrong was Daisy's father?
No, I didn't.
Or that he took his life after the tragedy?
Oh, God. I'm sorry to hear it.
Colonel, back at the hotel in Istanbul, you spoke with Miss Debenham. You told her you wished she was out of all of this. Can you tell me what you meant?
I have no idea.
But then she said to you that you should not be seen together until it was all behind you. Until what was all behind you?
Can't imagine.
Are you aware you're obstructing justice?
I am aware of no such thing.
What about you, mademoiselle? Can you explain what you meant?
I've told you already. I wanted to get the trip behind me.
I think you are lying.
Now see here!
Sit down, Colonel. I am talking. Now, what did you mean at the hotel? You wanted to keep her out of what? You wanted to get what behind you?
I'm married, all right? And I'm in the process of getting a divorce, which I deserve because my wife was seeing another man. And when the divorce is behind us, we can stop hiding and get it all behind us, which is why we've been trying to keep things private, no thanks to you.
You've been doing a very poor job of it, I'm afraid.
Well, some of us have emotions, Perot. I'm sure you'd sacrifice your own mother for one of your damn solutions. And I don't think you know what the hell you're doing.
I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm investigating the murder of Monsieur Bruno Cassetti.
Well, he deserved to die!
Ah, then you know who he is.
Well, yes, they told me.
Oh, but you did not know Colonel Armstrong before, and you were not friends with him, and you did not serve together on the front lines with the Indian Army in the northern frontier? Oh, and did you not swear fidelity and friendship to each other during this trial by fire? And now you do not give him the basic respect he is due after all of the tragedy and loss he had to endure before taking his own life.
Shut up, you Vinny! What do you know about tragedy, huh? What do you know about honor and loyalty and your death? Justice!
Stop!
What are you doing?
You have been telling me lies. Miss Pa, all of you have been telling me lie after lie, but make no mistake. I know who killed Bruno Cassetti, and I know precisely how it was accomplished.
We're listening.
The facts of the case could not be more simple. At 5 p.m., the train left Istanbul on its way to Calais with stops in between. At 12:30 a.m., the train was hit by a snowdrift and was forced to stop, and at 10 a.m., Monsieur Bruno Cassetti was found dead in his room with 8 stab wounds to the chest. These are the facts. C'est tout, c'est fin. Now, under these conditions, there are 2 possible solutions. The first is that an enemy of Cassetti's boarded the train in Sofia, bearing with him a Wagon Lee uniform, which he put on later. Then, that night, using a passkey, he entered the man's room, stabbed him, and left through the room in Miss Hubert's compartment.
That's what I've been telling you.
Here, here.
Well done, my friend. You've solved the case.
No, I would not get too excited. He has not finished, have you, monsieur?
No, Princess, I have not finished. Now, let me present to you the second possible solution, because 2 unexpected events have rendered the first impossible. The first event is the snowdrift that forced the train to stop. The killer now had a very serious problem on his hands. Where could he go? He could not get off at the second station because there was no second station. So unless the killer could fly, he must still be among us on this train. He must be one of you.
You said that there were 2 unexpected events. We just can't wait to hear the other one.
The second event is the discovery of a fragment of a letter which read, "Remember Daisy Armstrong." This fragment proves that the killer was not some random enemy of Cassetti's, but rather was someone avenging the death of a 5-year-old child. Am I being fair, Miss Debenham? What do you think?
I suppose so.
Bearing these facts in mind, the second solution took root and since then has blossomed in its terrible ruthlessness. The first clue was presented to me while we were still at the hotel in Istanbul, where I was informed there was not a single first-class ticket left on board the Orient Express.
It is never sold out at this time of year. That is ridiculous.
And it was ridiculous. Why was the train suddenly full? But thanks to Monsieur Bouc, I now had a berth. And later, on the platform, I was introduced to an astonishing company of actors.
Monsieur Perrault, I look forward to hearing of your wonderful adventures.
Princess Dragonmirov, how lovely to see you.
I have agreed to pay her way to assist me as I travel to Paris.
I am not married except to God Almighty who lives in heaven.
French, Hungarian, Russian, Swedish. What were all of these people doing on board the same train? Something was afoot. It was beginning to look like a painting by Pablo Picasso. Here was an ear on top of an eye behind a nose, and nothing was normal. Consider last night, the incident in the corridor.
Help! Somebody help! Come quickly, help!
Mrs. Hubert, what is it?
There was a man in my room. He ran off, I'm sure of it.
Which way did he go?
That way, just this second.
But, madame, that is where I am coming from, and I saw no one. How is this possible?
How should I know?
And then there was the murder itself. A businessman dies in a locked room in a torrent of almost unspeakable violence.
Dear God, it is awful!
Did you see his chest? Oh, this is horrible!
I cannot believe it.
And then it came time to inspect the body, where the Countess and I discovered not 1, not 2, but 8 stab wounds to the chest.
Perhaps the man changed hands during the stabbing.
Or there were two assailants.
One strong, one weak.
After this, I was offered a feast of clues. The wine, the gun, the window, the match, until one clue of real significance presented itself to me. The broken watch.
It is stopped at 1:15.
At last, it is the time of death.
But the significance of it for me was not the time it held, but rather the location it was found in. Monsieur Cassetti's pajama pocket. An unlikely place, don't you think? Do you usually put a watch in your pajama pocket? Or you? Or you? Of course not. It would be uncomfortable. Which is what led me to conclude the watch was placed there deliberately, to make me think the time of death was 1:15, a time at which every single person on board this train has an alibi, when in reality, the death did not occur until after 2, a time at which not a single person on board this train has any alibi.
You know, I really don't think that we need to be subjected to this in front of all of
Sit down, Miss Hubert. Now, as for who actually killed Cassetti, the second clue presented itself to me on the floor, not far from the body. The handkerchief, with the letter H in the fabric, which I now return to its rightful owner, Princess Natalia Dragomirov.
But my name begins with an N, monsieur.
But in Russian, in the Cyrillic alphabet, the letter H is written like the letter N in English.
Thank you. I must have dropped it.
And now that brings us to the most puzzling event of the entire case. As some of you will recall, I was speaking with the Colonel and Miss Hubert when suddenly there was a scream and a gunshot. But this was no ordinary scream and gunshot. This was a fabrication so elaborate and extreme that for a moment even I was confused.
Oh my God, it's her!
What happened?
Mary!
As some of you will recall, letter H in English. Some of you were speaking with Miss Debenham. Gunshot.
Just a second.
The second. The moment I saw Miss Debenham on the floor, I knew it was a sham, a performance. Why would a man 2 feet and more merely graze the arm of his victim? And why would there be a powder burn at the entry point? Simple. Because Miss Debenham dropped the gun, fired the bullet herself, dropped the gun, and fell to the floor.
Nonsense!
I'd have to be crazy.
Exactly, crazy. That or committed entirely to a course of action which meant everything to you. 4 people on board this train are friends or family of Daisy Armstrong. Is that not incredible?
My father fought the case for that son of a bitch.
Daisy's grandmother is my dearest friend.
Well, he deserved to die!
I would imagine that she still suffers from the loss of her niece.
And if they were fair, could it not be 6 or 8? Could it not be that Miss Debenham was the governess of Daisy Armstrong during the time of the killing?
I lived with the family for about a year. I'm a governess.
And Miss Olsen, who was a baby nurse for some time, are we not to think that she was not Daisy Armstrong's baby nurse in Long Island?
I am missionary and I work in Africa with little babies.
And from the beginning, I knew that a crime like this could not be committed without somebody on the inside, perhaps a conductor who could come and go as he pleased. And then I remembered how the maid who killed herself, Suzanne, was from Paris, like Michelle. And I began to wonder whether this unfortunate girl was not Michelle's daughter who went to work in America. And that leaves one passenger unaccounted for. It leaves Miss Hubert, who has certainly turned in the finest performance of the evening. It is not hard to see that Miss Hubert is an actress by profession and the grandmother of Daisy Armstrong, the great Linda Arden, who has dazzled so many audiences during her distinguished career. And so, Miss Hubert, I applaud you and assume that you have been the mastermind of this scheme from the beginning.
Is this true?
I always wanted to be a director.
And so, the murder was committed. There were 8 stab wounds, some strong, some weak, some left-handed, some right-handed. And there were 8 killers. You planned it together, you killed together, and in the name of justice, you played God together.
For that little girl!
For my daughter, you pig! For Charles!
For Daisy!
For little Daisy.
For my father.
For my darling Daisy!
For my grandchild!
And so, my friends, what am I to do? It cannot be long before the Yugoslavian police arrive when I must tell them the truth, n'est-ce pas?
The truth, of course, about the second conductor.
Anything else would be complete
On
injustice.
the contrary, it is the only justice. Under the law, if you commit a murder, you must pay the price.
But it was Bruno Cassetti who murdered the little girl.
And that gave you the right to kill him?
Of course it did! He killed 5 people for some ransom money he had killed before and he would have killed again! Now I think it's time for you to turn around and leave us alone!
No, it is not! It is not that time! Never in my life have I turned my back on the law. Do you understand that, Colonel? The law must be obeyed or we become barbarians! It is 1934. Europe is changing and there will be chaos! There will be nothing left of us and we will have to start anew. I cannot support this! I cannot agree with this!
But the man was a monster, Monsieur Perrault. You know that he was.
But I cannot just... I cannot...
May a humble actress speak her piece?
Please do, my dear.
Monsieur Perrault, you're in your hands and we acknowledge that, but surely you cannot believe that it would have been better if Bruno Cassetti had gotten away scot-free. Is that the kind of justice that you're after? Look at it this way. You have a complete solution staring you in the face. You have the button, you have the uniform, and you have 3 reliable witnesses who saw a man in the corridor. Surely you can't be calling all of us liars. Because if you did, there would be months of trials. Lives would be damaged more than they already have been. And a great many people would be forced to relive the worst moments of their entire lives, more terrible than anything you could ever imagine. Is that what you want? Examine your heart and tell us if that is really what you want.
You have put me to the test, madame, and I am greatly troubled. Monsieur Bouc, you are the director of the Wagonly. What do you say?
In my opinion, the first solution you put forward is entirely correct. We had a deadly intruder disguised as a train conductor, and that is the solution I believe you should offer the police.
Alors, my friends, may you go with God, and I pray that He grants you the strength you need to go on with your lives.
We did it. We did it. We can go home. Justice is served.
The crews have arrived.
They're here at last.
Well, praise the Lord.
The train is moving.
Oh, thank God.
Hello? Hello there. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, James, do you see them?
I told you we'd be all right. You know, Perrault, you're not as bad as I.
Perrault?
Monsieur Perrault?
He's gone.
Gone where?
Monsieur Poirot?
And so, the case was solved. and the passengers went their separate ways. Miss Oysen really did make it to Africa, for the first time it turns out, and she really did help many of the children and save many lives. The Colonel and Miss Debenham were married in a quiet ceremony in St. James Square. McQueen went back to his business, Michel to his trains, and the princess left us for the great beyond. The Countess, alas, went back to her husband. Monsieur Bouc and I remain good friends to this day, and Miss Hubert, the great Linda Auden, has returned to the stage in a new play entitled No, No, None Yet, in which, I am told, she brings the audiences to their feet. And meanwhile, and I beg you to believe me when I say this, that I wish them all well, and I pray that they prosper until the end of days. But at night, when I am alone, I ask myself again and again if this was justice, if I did the right thing. And on these nights, it is not until morning when I can finally close my eyes.